and welcome to In Depth. I'm Teena Jha. In the last 5 years, India has made remarkable progress in arresting maternal and infant mortality. Maternal mortality, infant mortality, and under 5 mortality rates have declined faster than global figures. According to a UN report, 8.02 lakh deaths were reported in the country in 2017, the lowest in 5 years. But despite the progress in saving our children, infant deaths in India continue to remain the highest in the world. The UN report says 3 infants die every 2 minutes on an average in India due to lack of access to water, sanitation, proper nutrition, or basic health services. Today in In-Depth, let's look at the steps taken by the government to reduce mortality rates, the challenges it faces, and the reasons behind the sharp decline in mortality rates in recent years. "25 million children are born every year in India. The number of infant deaths has come down drastically in recent years. In the year 2017, for the first time, the number of deaths of children under the age of 5 was equal to the number of births. The government says now the next step will be to reduce the number of deaths. India continues to show impressive gains in reducing child deaths. A report released by the United Nations Interagency Group for Child Mortality Estimation, or UNIGME, says India's infant mortality rate dropped to 32 for every 1,000 live births in 2017 from 34 in 2016. This translates to 802,000 infant deaths in 2017 compared to 867,000 infant deaths in 2016. For the first time in 5 years, under 5 mortality in India was recorded below 1 million in 2017. The number came down to 9,89,000 from 1.08 million in 2016. Among older children between ages 5 and 14, there were 1,52,000 deaths in 2017, which is a probability of 21 deaths among every 1,000 children. The neonatal mortality rate, or death within the first 28 days of life, has dipped from 25 per 1,000 live births in 2016 to 24 in 2017, which is about 605,000 deaths in all.
The release of the UN interagency estimates, which are the joint estimates of UNICEF, WHO and the World Bank. And the most important thing which has come out for India is that for the first time, the under 5 deaths have gone below the 1 million mark. And it's a moment to cherish, because a lot of health workers, a lot of program managers, a lot of governments have put a lot of hard work. And for the first time, India's child deaths have gone below the 1 million mark. What is also more important is that for the first time, the under 5 deaths of India have now become equal to the under 5 mortality rate of the world. That is 39 per thousand for India and 39 per thousand for the world. So these are the big headlines for India in this.
What's even more heartening is that there was a 4-fold decline in gender gap over the last 5 years. In 2017, sex-specific under 5 mortality rate was 39 in 1,000 live births for male and 40 in 1,000 live births for female.
But an area of concern is there, especially for the girl child. Girl child, initially across the world, the girls they outlive the boys by 11% across the globe. But certainly due to the social, economic and various ethnic and related issues, mainly in northern India, the girl child was living 10% less as compared to the boy child. But now, since past 5 years, this gap has now narrowed. It has been reduced from 10%. That means the 10% girls were dying more. Now it has been reduced to 2.5% because of the initiative taken by the governments and state governments. Our main project is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. That has really worked wonders. And hopefully with this continue, there will be a lot of social changes. More girl child will be saved.
The report released by the UNICEF, the World Health Organization, the United Nations Population Division and the World Bank Group estimates that globally 6.3 million children aged below 15 died in 2017, of whom 5.4 million were in the first 5 years of life, with newborns accounting for around half of the deaths. Most children under 5 died due to preventable or treatable causes such as complications during birth, pneumonia, diarrhea, neonatal sepsis and malaria. As per the report, globally in 2017, half of all deaths under 5 years took place in sub-Saharan Africa and 30% more in southern Asia. In sub-Saharan Africa, 1 in 13 children died before their 5th birthday. In high-income countries, that number was 1 in 185. For children everywhere, the most risky period is the first month. In 2017, 2.5 million newborns died in their first month. Despite these challenges, fewer children are dying each year worldwide. The number of children dying under 5 has fallen dramatically from 12.6 million in 1990 to 5.4 million in 2017. The number of deaths in older children aged between 5 and 14 years dropped from 1.7 million to under 1 million in the same period.
The speciality of the report says, if at all the health services are not extended properly in the next 10 years, more than 56 million deaths will occur. That means more than 5.5 crore children across the world will die if health services are not improved in next 10 or 12 years.
In India, the increase in awareness over sanitation and the government's drive to ensure toilets in every household is widely considered a strong factor in bringing down death rates among the population. A recent WHO report had stated that over 3 lakh deaths due to sanitation-related diseases were prevented in India due to the government's push for Swachh Bharat mission. Another reason for the improvement in India's infant mortality rate is growing public expenditure on health, and also the rollout of programs like the National Rural Health Mission that focuses on the healthcare needs of underserved rural areas. The mission has helped set up rural health infrastructure in areas where it was non-existent earlier, and also helped raise a cadre of community health workers known as Asha workers who work as the frontline staff of the mission in improving health outcomes, especially of women and newborns. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Even though the number of infant deaths in India has reduced from 8.67 lakh in 2016 to 8.02 lakh in 2017, the cause of mortality rates varies greatly across the regions of India and also by gender, meaning the chance of survival depends on where and to whom children are born. In this report, we look at some of the major causes of infant mortality in India. India has made impressive gains in child survival over the last few decades. Between 1990 and 2017, the global under-5 mortality rate dropped by 58%, from 93 deaths for 1,000 live births to 39 deaths per 1,000 live births. But even with this slight improvement, India is far behind in achieving the Millennium Development Goal, which aims to reduce under-5 mortality by 2/3 between 1990 and 2015. Progress towards reducing neonatal mortality between 2000 and 2017 has been 1.5 times slower than older children for the same period. In 2017, 2.5 million newborns died in their first month. The main reasons behind infant deaths in India remains to be lack of access to water, sanitation, proper nutrition and basic health services. Reasons may also include neonatal health conditions, widespread illiteracy and poverty. Several deaths were caused due to premature childbirth, low birth weight, neonatal infections and birth asphyxia and birth trauma. Pneumonia and diarrheal diseases are also causes of infant mortality. Sometimes accidental injuries become a prominent cause of death. Among children aged 5 to 9 years and young adolescents aged 10 to 14 years, communicable diseases are a less prominent cause of death than among children under age 5.
One of the important causes of the deaths in the newborn is if the babies are born too soon or born too small. That is the low birth weight babies. Another thing is infections or injury during birth. For that, what is important is mother's nutrition should be good. The age at marriage is important. So all these need to be done along with other social factors like the value of the girl child in the society, water sanitation and the holistic nutrition.
But to reduce child deaths, universal access to quality, affordable health services is critical, particularly around the time of birth and through the early years. Mortality rates among children and young adolescents are not only key indicators for child and young adolescent well-being, but more broadly for sustainable social and economic development. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV. Time for a short break on the program. We'll be right back.
We are destined to be one of the big stars of this world. We must excel on many fronts. Our history has taught us that technology can do huge amount of good to human life. But we must use it rationally and sensibly. We are producing people with good comprehension, but we are not bringing out their creativity strongly. And that requires a mix of education and experience.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Maharaj Kishan Bhan, former Secretary, Department of Biotechnology. Saturday 4 p.m. and Sunday 12 noon. Only on Rajya Sabha Television.
The Nehru Trophy boat race of Kerala, popularly called Vallam Kali in local parlance. This historic boat race dates back to 1952 when Pandit Nehru visited the state and a pageantry of boats accompanied him from Kottayam to Alappuzha. The race, conducted on the second Saturday of August every year, is a major tourist attraction. It's generally the snake boats which participate in the race, and hence the shape of the winner's trophy is also a replica of a snake boat.
Welcome back. You're watching In Depth. With better health services and facilities, India has registered a significant decline in infant mortality rate, faster than the world pace. According to the Sample Registration System Bulletin of 2017, infant mortality rate declined by 3 points between 2015 and 2016. India is moving faster than the world in achieving a steady decline in the infant mortality rate. We are now set to surpass the Sustainable Development Goal of reducing neonatal mortality to at least as low as 12 per 1,000 live births and under 5 mortality to at least as low as 25 per 1,000 live births by 2025, way ahead of the targeted year of 2030. Union Health Minister J.P. Nadda revealed these statistics in Rajya Sabha earlier this year, adding that states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra have emerged as the best performers.
I'm happy to share with the House that our MMR, our IMR and our under 5 mortality has declined faster than the world pace. And we have attained the position where we have gone far away than the MDG goals. And accordingly, if we go by 2025, we will be able to surpass the SDG goals also, where the target is 2030. As far as the infant mortality rate is concerned, the decline has been from 4,300,000 lives to 39,000 lives. Okay. So that is also, there is also a decline in that.
The remarkable decline in infant mortality rate is powered by countrywide quality health service coverage,
strengthening of service delivery on drugs and diagnostics, improved awareness and cash assistance to BPL and SC/ST pregnant women.
Like around 10 years back, the situation was that 6 out of 10 women were delivering at home. But now, in last 5 years, institutional delivery has picked up and 8 out of 10 women are delivering in a hospital. So what has happened is now you have cash incentives for a mother to deliver in the hospital. The transport is free. The care in the hospital has been made free. More centers are coming up near the rural areas. The road infrastructure has improved. Transport by 108, free ambulance of 102 has started. So all these are measures which are helping in improving the access. Now what is most important is in the worst tribal areas, in the remotest part of India, we need to make sure that every woman is sent to a delivery place in time and she gets good birth preparedness, she gets good antenatal care and care when she reaches the hospital.
According to the latest sample registration system bulletin published in September last year, India's infant mortality rate declined from 37 per 1,000 live births in 2015 to 34 per 1,000 live births in 2016, an 8% decline in the infant mortality rate. India registered 90,000 fewer infant deaths in 2016 as compared to 2015. The gender gap in India for child survival is also reducing steadily. The gender difference between female and male IMR has now reduced to less than 10%, giving a major boost to the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme of the government. Along with a decline in infant mortality rate, the data also shows a major drop in the number of estimated births in a year, which came down to below 2.5 crores from 2.6 crores, a shot in the arm for the government's family planning initiatives.
India has shown very good progress in last 5 to 10 years in the reduction of both the infant mortality and the under 5 mortality. In fact, progress of India has been faster than the world's progress. Now, one area where we need to now focus is the reduction of the neonatal deaths, because the first day of life is the most riskiest day for both mother and newborn. And currently, 62% of the under 5 deaths happen in the first month of life.
As per the bulletin, all states except Uttarakhand reported a decline in infant mortality rate in 2016 compared to 2015. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
According to new mortality estimates released by UNICEF, World Health Organization, United Nations Population Division and the World Bank, the year 2017 recorded 6.3 million children and young adolescent deaths in the world, which essentially means that one child under the age of 15 died in the world every 5 seconds. Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia regions recorded the highest under 5 mortality rate in the world. If appropriate measures are not taken, an estimated 56 million children under the age of 5 are likely to die from 2018 to 2030. A child under the age of 15 dies every 5 seconds around the world. Despite progress over the past quarter century, millions of newborns, children and young adolescents die every year, mostly of preventable or treatable causes like infectious diseases and injuries. In the last 2 decades, the world made substantial progress in reducing mortality among children under 5, children aged between 5 to 9 years, and young adolescents aged 10 to 14 years. But 2017 recorded 6.3 million children and young adolescent deaths, mostly from preventable causes. The vast majority of these deaths, 5.4 million, occur in the first 5 years of life, with 2.5 million deaths occurring in the first month of life, 1.6 million at age 1 to 11 months, and 1.3 million at age 1 to 4 years. An additional 0.9 million deaths occurred among children aged 5 to 14 years. In 2017, half of the deaths among children under the age of 5 occurred in sub-Saharan Africa and 30% more occurred in southern Asia. With an estimated 76 deaths per 1,000 live births in 2017, sub-Saharan Africa continues to be the region with the highest under 5 mortality rate in the world. This means that 1 in 13 children die before their 5th birthday in sub-Saharan Africa, which is 14 times higher than the average ratio of 1 in 185 in high-income countries and 20 times higher than the ratio of 1 in 263 in Australia and New Zealand.
If you see the perspective in this report, there is a wide variation between the countries. But what is good is the trend. The trend says that the child deaths have reduced and now they have come down to 5.4 million, which were around 12 million 25 years back. On one hand, you have countries like Norway, you have countries like Japan, you have countries like Singapore, which have an under 5 mortality of just 2 or 3. But on other part, you have countries which still have a long way to go. And they have under 5 mortality which is 60, 70, 80. So there is a dichotomy. There are countries in South Asia, there are countries in Africa which will need to accelerate progress.
The report adds there are disparities even within countries. Under 5 mortality rates among children in rural areas are on an average 50% higher than among children in urban areas. Children born to uneducated mothers are more than twice as likely to die before turning 5 than those born to mothers with a secondary or higher education.
Education is got a major role to play. Educating a girl child means educating a family. Mother gives birth to the child, takes care. If mother is educated, if father is educated, then obviously the standard of living, their hygienic sense, all that will improve.
Children continue to face large regional and income disparities in their chances of survival, and improving survival chances of newborns, children and young adolescents remains an urgent challenge. 56 million children under the age of 5 are likely to die from 2018 to 2030. The report says as many as 50 countries in the world have not met the Sustainable Development Goals or SDG child mortality rate target of 25 deaths per 1,000 live births. 118 countries had an under 5 mortality rate below the SDG target, but among the remaining 77 countries, more than half will not be able to meet the SDG goal to end preventable child deaths before 2050. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on some other issue. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback and suggestions. Thanks for your time.